And 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Conelanders Dirt Rally League. And I just noticed how terrible quality weld that is on the upper left part of the roll cage, and it goes through the vent. What if I wanted air conditioning? Anyway, we are here in Germany for the 3rd week of February in a Lancia, because the Ford's on the wrong side and the Subaru's all-wheel drive understeery mess. There's my reasoning, and let's start the stage.
5, 4, 3,
Once again, we are recording this live from Twitch,
left 6,
and I have story time. As you know, there's no better time for story time than when you're trying not to die.
into keep right over crest.
Woohoo! So story time is yesterday, Friday,
Turn cube right through
was a absolutely gorgeous day in Pennsylvania. It was 70 degrees out in February.
left 6.
Woohoo! Car, please. No, left turn. Yeah, in February, really warm day. So I decided, what better day to drive the CJ, the Willys, and it was an absolutely glorious drive to work. It was like 50 degrees out, which is an ideal temperature for me. 70 is a little warm for me, actually, as I question where I'm at. There we go. 50s, like high 50s, low 60s is like my ideal temperature. So I really enjoyed driving it to work. It was nice with the wind. It was like rock. It was perfect. I had a relatively good day at work. Everything went smoothly. Learned some new things, which is always good when you're in R&D. Doing some research stuff, I tried some new things that worked, and that made me pretty happy. And saved it. So that was good. Then came going home, and I realized that my fuel tank was saying empty, which means I still have fuel. My fuel gauge isn't perfect, so I was just like, I'll top off the tank anyway. So I leave, I get to the bottom of the driveway of my work, and just sputters out and dies. And I'm like, well, crap. Now I gotta figure out what's wrong with it. So I pull over, I look at it, and first thing I notice is that the fuel bulb on the fuel pump, which is attached to the block on these old vehicles, it's a mechanical pump. That fuel bulb wasn't full, so I immediately realized that it just wasn't getting fuel, and that was the issue. So I started to mess around with it, and I called my dad to, this is that tricky turn, to come bring me a spare gasket for that fuel bulb, expecting that the gasket was letting air in, which wasn't allowing it to pump. And he shows up, we start messing around with it, and in the meantime, the fuel bulb had filled, and it was starting to fill the secondary filter I have upline from that. And then I was cranking it, and it would start up, but it wouldn't keep running. And I just couldn't figure it out that there's fuel in the secondary filter, it should be pumping into the carburetor and running fine. And it just wouldn't run. And putzed around with it for a while. Just couldn't get it, so finally my dad goes, well, I'll go get the trailer, because we do have a car trailer, and we'll just tow it home, we'll figure it out there. And while he's doing that, I putz around some more, because I was questioning whether it was that gasket, because it seemed like it was getting fuel and it had a good seal. So while he went to go get the trailer, so he's like, you know what, I'll just change the gasket. ain't gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt anything. What am I gonna lose if I change the gasket? And so I changed the gasket, which involves me dumping gas all over the side of the engine block, which, you know, is less than ideal. I always brake either way too early for that or way too late. But so I dumped the gas out, put the new gasket in, tighten everything back up, starts pumping gas beautifully, fills the bulb, starts right up, keeps running. I'm like, wow. I was so annoyed because I was sitting there futzing with it for what had to be half an hour, and if I would have just did what I initially thought was the issue, because previous experience I've had that be the issue, and if I would have just did that from the get-go, would have been a 10-minute fix, would have been on the road driving, no big deal. But instead I drug it out and made it a hassle out of what didn't need to be. So that was an adventure yesterday, going through all that, but CJ's running great again, and I've learned to keep a spare one of those gaskets in my bag in the Jeep at all times, so I can replace it if need be. So that was my little lesson learned adventure yesterday. Unfortunately, doing that took up all the time I had planned for. I had planned all that time to be used on tuning the carburetor on the forward control. So my plans are, after this stream, which I'm doing right now in the morning of Saturday, I plan on going outside and tuning the forward control after I finish here. So I get to work on both Jeeps in 2 days. And look at that, I managed to finish story time in the first stage. Oh, thank you, Sebi. I was happy with how that photo came out too. And if you're wondering, that's when I got to work, I took a picture and posted it to Twitter. 25 seconds down. That's pretty good for me. I had a couple little hiccups there, forgetting where I was, but no real like big slip-ups except for that one trip into the rocks on my passenger side door. But since the co-driver lies to you, I don't feel too terrible about that. If he told me the truth 100% of the time, I would feel totally guilty about doing that. So let's continue. '20th, which puts me above Xavier Penguin, NCW. Oh, I don't see. There's Sabi in third. Nemetes, the Holy Moose. What's going on, Moose? I saw you in one of the Discords talking about there being a lack of competition because Meister wasn't there, huh? What do you call this? What do you call this? I gotta fix my door again, apparently. Bionic Derp, Gem, Cone, Incarcerant. I guess Mock hasn't done his run yet. Okay, I was looking for Mock. So, we will have to find out from watching Mock's video. Oh, it's on the driver's side. What am I talking about? Anyway, let's continue and get ready for the next stage. Alright. Repair vehicle. Yay, we got repair. Look at that. 100%. Sorry about that. And start stage. Hello? I did not ask for this. Nope. Ah, there's the button. Alright, here we go. Second stage.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. 80k crest, turn square left, don't cut.
Oh,
200.
I know where we're at.
Turn heavy right, don't cut. 350 over small crest.
Too much. But it was fun.
Turn left 2 over crest, don't cut.
I know this is a little bit of a technical bit, so I want to focus a little bit, and then I get to talking. I've thought of something else I could talk about.
Keep right, and left 6 long through dip. Caution right 5 long, immediate turn square left. Don't
Oh boy.
cut.
Oh, I jumped. Jumping's bad.
Square left, don't
Oh, that hurt.
cut.
That really hurt.
Pass junction.
The good news is it didn't slow us down, but if I was in real life, I'd be dead. Oh, that hurt.
Care, keep left over small crest. Turn left 4, and turn acute right, don't cut. Turn square left, don't cut.
Sorry, Valves. You're expendable, especially since you're virtual and not real life.
Into turn square right, tight.
Oh, that made me happy.
Into turn left 5, opens 100 through dip.
Ooh, miss gear shift is bad. That's what I get for trying the gear shift in the middle of a hairpin.
100. Caution, keep
Well,
right
that was a big slip up, but oh well.
Immediate turn square left. Into turn square left. 100 crest.
Oh, anyway, as this isn't slowing down, the topic I wanted to talk about is, of course, still Jeeps.
80.
I have
Crest.
Oop, hairpin.
100.
I have work to do on my Cherokee, which is my newest of my Jeeps, which is still a 1995,
And right.
and
Keep left over small crest.
I need to do some decent amount of work on that. I have to do hard brake lines for the front wheels. I gotta redo those. I gotta bend the brake line.
Double caution right.
That's gonna take me some work,
Turn left 3 over bumps.
and kind of been hesitant of doing that because I
Turn
gotta
overhead left.
not looking forward to having to bend those brake lines and everything. Along with that, oh, that's sad. Oh, come on.
Crest.
Slowest murder of people in the world.
Immediate turn acute right, don't cut. 100.
But
Keep left over
along with
crest,
that,
100.
I noticed, or my brother pointed out to me, that my
Left over crest into turn
rear
don't cut.
passenger side suspension had collapsed, and that I'm gonna need a new one.
Turn hairpin left.
And I'm not going to replace it because I plan on lifting the Cherokee and I want to turn it into a more dedicated off-roader.
Continues for 100.
So I plan on lifting it, which requires me to put new suspension in anyway.
And left 5 long.
That is bigger.
Into turn
So,
square left, don't cut.
oh, I hate that. I hate that. You tap the grass and off you go.
Down.
But the thing is, I currently can't swing financially getting a lift kit, so it's going to have to kind of sit with broken suspension for a little while till I
Caution right.
muster up the funds to get a lift kit.
Square left 200. Past junctions. Turn square left, don't cut.
Alright.
Past junction.
But, so,
Caution
plan is
left, don't cut. Ditch outside.
to hopefully make a Powers Garage video out of that. And, we'll see how that goes and when it happens. Whoop.
And caution, turn square right, don't cut. Gate.
But, eventually that will happen. And then, another thing I've been doing is planning on what I'm going to do with the forward control. because it is a beautiful Jeep right now. It's in great condition. Everything's great. It's a good starting place. However, there are things that I don't like about it, and I would like to remedy them and break it up. So I've been researching on... He just gasped. He pulled the Goth Fairy. So I'm looking at getting a different bed for it, if I could get back on the road. And I plan on, hopefully, I would like to get a stock bed, like the stock style bed for it, instead of the flat bed. It just aesthetically is more pleasing to me. Sure, the flatbed is more useful, but I'm not going to use it that much of the truck. It's just going to be kind of a fun driver. The other thing I noticed was the front springs on it are a little bit low. The front end kind of sits a little lower than the back end, and it doesn't look quite right, so I need to put new leaves on the front, either taller ones or just add a leaves to the ones that are on there. So that's on the docket. Once again, death. Once again, that'll be something I will be doing in Power's Garage video. I'm not going to be brave. This stage has gone less smooth than the last one. And it's more or less what I expected to do. Come on. I don't know what happened to me. But I am out of my game. Whew. Working on 3 cars simultaneously. Yes, it is. They won't be worked on simultaneously. It's just going to be kind of progression. The Cherokee will probably be... The brakes will be done first. The lift will be done later. The forward control, that's going to take time. That's probably going to be months and months of me researching, trying to find a bed. And then the actual work itself is probably going to take a month, at least, with body work and then paint. I dropped quite a bit there below Xavier Penguin. I have to solve that and try to jump back up in the top 20 if I can. I don't see that happening, though. I really, it was all the off tracks. That one spectator I hit stinks. That was 15-second penalty for, I think a mannequin could have moved out of the way faster than that person did. I think you're right there, Sebi, that he says that my performance is better when I start talking about a subject from the get-go. And that's very true, because when I have the subject from the get-go, it is already in my head, and I don't need to think about it. When I'm like that last bit, I was thinking about what I'm going to be doing, so I'm using brain power to think about what I'm going to say, so it makes it a little more difficult to process what's going on in the game, because I'm constantly trying to think of what else I need to say about that subject. So it is better to be talking from the beginning for me, but unfortunately I did not plan, or I never do plan what I'm gonna say beforehand, because it's just I don't do much preparation for this as far as even practice. You want me to practice what I'm gonna say? I can't do that. Too much work. Oop, that's right, left. I don't think I'm have anything else going on really besides that. just
80 past junction.
life.
Right
I can
6,
maybe
100.
focus a little bit about the
Crest
stage.
and crest. Caution braking, turn right 1. Don't cut.
Braking way too
Turn
early,
right 1, don't cut.
but
Past
you know what?
junction.
I'm okay with it.
Past junction 80.
Woohoo! I believe this is the stage I practiced before the stream started. Well, not before the stream started, but before the league started.
Left 5. 100
Woohoo! Oh boy, heart stopped a little bit there.
Care left 3, don't cut. Past junction.
Easy. Oh, did not see that rock. I was trying to keep my throttle and brake inputs smooth so I didn't lose control, and apparently there's a rock there.
Don't caution, dip, right 5. Immediate hairpin left round bales. Keep in, rocks on exit. 200. Crest jump maybe 80.
Ay. That was crazy. Oh, what? I don't know what my computer, like, something in my computer pauses the game for me. Oh, and there goes my hard drive spinning up. This is frustrating. Nothing takes you more out of a game than something pausing the game and doing that to you.
Park junction.
And it probably will do it again.
Into left 6.
It always seems to do it in twos, and it drives me nuts. And I've mentioned it many times in my Dirt Rally videos. See, there it is. Great! Right as I hit the braking point and shifting gears. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Prepare for excitement. Whew, okay. Ready, set, brace. Ah!
Right 6, 130.
Oh,
Caution right 5.
okay.
And to turn right 4, don't cut. Into turn square left, don't cut. Keep in, rocks on exit. 250 crest.
I need a breather. Too much.
And caution crest, immediate left 5, don't cut. 250 down.
This is not a left 5, this is a left 3, you jerk ass.
Turn right 4 through dip, don't cut, narrows. 80 crest. Into
Alright.
right 5.
Well, I don't think I'm making up any time here because I've already made multiple big mistakes.
40 past junction. 80.
Just barely overshot that one.
Turn left 1 long, cut. 60.
No, I will not listen to you.
5 long, 100 through dip.
No cutting. Why do you sound so beaten down and disappointed? Short stage, apparently. Oh, tagged it with the rear end. Yes, that is the way to finish. 21 seconds down now. With that, as we go to the replay,
Right 5.
and let's go to, with that, 21 seconds down, I don't think we have any hope of catching up to 20th. So my prediction is I'm going to leapfrog Xavier Penguin and no one else. So we'll see how that works out. But overall, other than the freezes in this freeze stage went alright. Didn't go too bad. That first stage was beautiful. I was really happy with that first stage. But the second stage was just horrendous. I think, actually, realistically, the combined time of my first and third stage off of first place probably is still less than how far off I was on the second stage. Anyway, let's see how we did. Survey says 24th. Xavier got me. Oh, by a decent margin too. 11 seconds. I just did too poorly on that second stage. That second stage killed me. If it wasn't for, like, I think I had 3 resets in that whole stage, there's 45 seconds. So Well, what are you going to do? I still had a good time, as always. It was death as expected, but a fun time nonetheless. So with that, I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next event. Bye-bye. And cut.